So even though I kind of dove into this already, let's look at this process in depth. First, we start with our open process, like we did every single time. The start is sent, the request identity is sent, the identity is shared, and the identity is shared to the authentication server. At this point, EAP FAST is different with their packs. EAP FAST and their packs. Using packs. Just so you don't get more confused, I'm going to put that there. We're using packs now. We're not using certificates with EAP FAST. So, like we said, like I showed you in the last slide, I'm going to go over this again. The AID is sent, boom, to the client. What does the client do with the AID? Well, it looks it up in its database. And then it says, I know which key goes with that. I need to take that key that goes with the AID and drop it into a pack opaque. Once I do that, I need to add in my ID, my real true identity, into that pack opaque. So the ID is here, the key is here, and the duration that the key is valid is here in that pack opaque. We send that pack opaque back to the server. The server says, great, I know who you are now. Now we have a tunnel using those keys, don't we? With that, the server authenticates the client authenticates the server, and then the pairwise master key is now delivered, pairwise here, and now we can use the pairwise master key to encrypt this area here. I get a lot of questions sometimes. Why aren't we using the asymmetric keys or the asymmetric packs to encrypt everything? Well, remember, this asymmetric process is point to point. So really, I'm only encrypting from here to here with our asymmetric keys, aren't I? The external database is used to monitor those packs or deliver those packs using LDAP or Active Directory. Notice we don't need a certificate authority in this process at all. But you see that if I use this, this is only end-to-end, here to here. I don't want to run my data to my authentication server, do I? My packets that I'm sending over wireless are hitting that access point and maybe going elsewhere. They don't have to go to my authentication server. So why would I use this first tunnel or this second tunnel for that? No, I have to generate that symmetric key. Remember, a symmetric encryption is much faster anyways. This asymmetric is much slower. I don't need this slow process. I need a much faster process. So this symmetric process from here just to here. Once it hits the access point and I'm no longer sending data in open air, I can utilize wires, which are much more secure. So now I'm on the wired infrastructure, and the wired infrastructure can go anywhere. Out to my router. My router can then move it out into the internet. That pairwise master key gives us a protected data session. Now, lots of people often ask me, why don't we just use the pairwise master key? We get rid of all this. Boy, I'm scribbling on everything here. Let's get rid of this. Why don't we just use the pairwise master key? We could get rid of this process, right? Why don't I just send the pairwise master key right then and there to these two? Can anyone tell me? Why wouldn't you do that? Because if you did, the pairwise master key is going in the what? It's moving in plain text across the supplicant and the access point. If you do that, anyone who's seeing it can see, oh my goodness, they just sent a key. They could now use the key, implement the key, and be able to read anything that you put in your encrypted tunnel. Because you sent the key across. It's like sending your password in plain text. It's not a good idea. That's why we have this open in the beginning. Request identity, this is who I am. Once you send this is who I am, that's when it comes back encrypted. The AID is set. the AID. Now you alone have the PAC in this process. In EAP TLS, it would come back as a public key, and then you would send your credentials. No one would be able to see that except the owner of the master key. In this case, we look up everything in the PAC, and we send a PAC opaque with the key, right? Encrypted. PAC opaque right there. Only the authentication server has the master key that can open the PAC opaque. So that is the difference. We never ever want to send our credentials in the clear. We always want to establish some form of encryption. That's what EAP is all about. That's what all those different protocols we talked about, EAP TLS, PEEP, and EAP FAST, that was all about protecting our credentials. Those are 3 different ways EAP does it.